G'day friends and welcome to Saturday. It's Vicky Wright, Independent Stampin' Up Demonstrator, Australia. So this month I thought what we would do is create a card each Saturday and share with you a couple of projects using the one stamp set, one die set, and one lot of DSP. So this month is actually taken from the October Stampin' Card Club. It goes live the 1st of each month and closes the 15th of each month. It's via subscription, and you get 2 each of 3 designs, a kit that includes 6 cards, 2 each of 3 designs, plus 3 extra PDF tutorials, which also includes a 3D project. So, as I said, these cards that I'll be sharing this month are taken from our October Stampin' Card Club. Now, if you want to join us, all the information will be below or on my blog. Okay, so this week, what we're going to start off with is, I'm just taking it out of the packet so you can see it. We're going to be doing this card. Very simple card, but it highlights the paper and the stamp set. Okie dokie, so we'll just put that there. And I'll bring in my kit. So this is the paper we're actually using. It's called Pretty Prints. I don't have any left to show you the actual pack, so this is it here. I love the colours and I love the patterns in it. Okay, and we'll be using all month is the Nature's Harvest, along with the Harvest dies. So these dies actually match this stamp set. Okay, so what we're going to do now is bring in our kit. Now, the base card is Rich Razzleberry, which is one of the colours that goes in the paper. And I'm just going to grab my trimmer because I haven't scored the card. So, as I said, this is Rich Razzleberry, and we're going to score our card at 4 1/8 or 10.5. Okie dokie. There you are. So while we're at it, I'm actually going to cut a piece of cardstock into squares. Okay, so this square is actually 3 by 3, and I want it at 1.5 one way, and then we're going to cut these at 1.5 so that we've actually got 4 pieces. Okay, so there are 4 squares. So I can put that away. I'm just going to grab some glue and dimensionals. You always think you got everything ready, but you don't. Now, I was going to do this live, but I'm not sure whether my internet will last that long. It's been playing up and I'm having fights with it at the moment. And I'm having a lot of trouble getting it replaced. So just bear with me. So what we're going to do is we're just going to randomly stamp this flower here, okay, onto these squares. And I'm just going to do it any which way. 1, 2. You could use any image on this if you wanted to. Also, too, you could you can emboss these squares with different embossing folders. And we'll do that one. So we'll put that away. Put that aside to be cleaned. And, oh, we need our trimmer again. And we're going to cut. So this is what I'm using. I don't have any more of this paper. So I've dug up this piece of paper, which matches anyhow. And we're going to use this one. Okay. So we'll just cut that down. And it is 5 1/2, I think. Don't throw that away. You can use that for inside your card. And you could also use those as well, that piece as well. So I'm going to bring in a piece of basic white. I just want to check to see if it fits first before we stick it down or add glue. Now your cards can be as basic as you like. It depends what you use and how you create your card. You can still create a bit of a wow. Okay, so while we're here, we'll bring in our base card. And of course I don't have my bone folder, so I'll just burnish this with my thumb. Get a nice crisp fold. And then we're gonna stick this to our base card. Just like that. Okay, so that's all done. Then what we're going to do is we're actually going to pop these up . It's a little bit bigger, but that's all right. Just like that. So we'll grab our dimensionals, if I can find them. One, 2. Now another idea to pop these up would be our what do you call it? Is it adhesive sheets? No. let me see, 6. Yeah, adhesive sheets. No, it is the foam adhesive sheets. So all you do is cut them back. I usually cut them back to about a quarter of an eighth of an inch smaller if I use them, so that you got that little bit of ledge on the wrong side, and it gives you a little bit of it's not right to the edge, so you're not going to see it. I always cut it a little bit shorter. So that's 2. What do I do with this? What do I do with the other one? I bet it's stuck to the catalogue. What did I do with the other one? One, 2. Oops, sorry. How can something disappear like that? Yep. Just very gently. Now I'll have the other one stuck. I might redo that. Yeah, look. We're not starting out too good, eh? Let's see how this fares up. We're not going to see underneath. So, just to save me redoing it, let's put 2 more down here and see how we go. And I need the scissors. Sorry about that. One, 2. If you wanted to, you could put one in the middle. I will probably put one in the middle because these are just a little bit smaller. Oops, I've done that one. I'm really making a mess of this. Two, 3. And 5. So now what we'll do is we will arrange this. So when I arrange it so that I know that it's going to be straight, I will line it up on my grid paper. Actually, I will do the bottom one first. And I try to get an even edge around the bottom and the side, okay? And also in between each one. And I usually just stick them there, just so I know they're nice and, or until I know that they're nice and straight. Okay. And this is our last. So that looks pretty even. That looks pretty even to me. And then I just gently press down. Okay, so then what we're going to do is I haven't die cut it yet. I'm going to die cut. What happened to my dies? This shape. Okay. First of all, what we'll do first, I think, is stamp our sentiment. And we're going to be using this one here, Sending Healing Thoughts, but I'm going to mask off the bottom part of it. Okay, now you can use the masking sheets if you wanted to, or you could just ink up along the bottom, along the top. But what I'm going to do is what I tend to do anyhow, is use sticky tape. Now that might be out of reach for a little bit, so just bear with me. And that's all I do. I just put a sticky tape along the bottom, ink that up. Now, as I said, I always test to see if it's nice and straight. I don't worry about removing the mask, but if I'm going to do it for real, I will remove the mask and move it way out of the way. Otherwise, you'll end up with ink everywhere. Okay, and then we're just going to stamp that right in the middle like that. And that's a little bit crooked, but that's all right. Then what we're going to do, bring in a little bit of washi tape or masking sheet, if I can find the end. Oh, I can't find the end of this. This is pretty old, but it'll do the job. So I just want a little bit of washi tape, and I'm going to stick this right there like that. Okay, and I will also stick I want to make sure that's straight. Whoops. Now I'll just get my embossing machine. I should have grabbed the mini, but that's all right. It's probably a bit close for you at the moment, so just bear with me while I cut this. Then what we're going to do, all right, because I want it shorter, I don't want it this long, the shape. I'm going to remove those, and I'm going to bring this back along, okay, and it's going to slot in where you can feel those cuts. Okie dokie. So once again, we'll stick that down. Now with washi tape, I tend not to stick it to the cardstock because it can tear it. I tend to just stick it right down This end won't matter, but this end I just tend to stick it just over the end of the die. So we'll bring this in again, turn it around that way. And fingers crossed that when we take the die off, oh, it's all okay. So there you go. That's how I do it. There's probably different ways of doing it, but that's just the way that I tend to do it. So then what we're going to do is we're just going to stick this over the bottom here like that, but we want some of it to overlap onto the square. So we're going to put a little bit of glue on our left side. Yep. And we're going to put a few dimensionals onto our right side. Just like that. Okie dokie. And we're going to line that up so that we know it's nice and straight. And all I'm doing, sticking. So I'm hoping that we're back live again. Okie dokie. So that's our sentiment. Then to finish it off, all we're going to do is bring in some the brush. I can't remember what they're called now. Just bear with me. Just go to our good old catalogue. Always forget the names of things when you need it. Yeah, the brushed brass butterflies, which are from the annual catalogue. Okay, so these are them there. I quite like them actually. They're quite nice. And then we're just going to finish them off with a couple of butterflies. 1, 2, and we'll just put a few in the squares. 1, 2, 1 there. But if you don't have these, you're quite welcome or can use what you have. Okay, oops. I'll put one there. And just press down. So there our butterflies done. And that is basically our card done. So that's the first one. And that's the original. And as you can see, the squares are a little bit smaller, but that's okay. Still the same. But of course, we can't finish a card without gluing our insides and our envelopes. So what we're going to do, now as I said, you could have used your paper and just stuck that down there. But in this case, I think what we'll do is stamp, eh? And we're just going to stamp the same image. One. And then we'll do our envelope the same, just in a different direction. Put that out of the way. Close this up. And then we'll grab this and we'll stick this to the inside of our card. because you've got to have matchy-matchy. Okie dokie. And that, what have I done in this one? Yeah, same thing. Okay, so that is our card. Now, as I said, if you want to, please subscribe to our Stamp and Card Club. I love our Stamp and Card Club, and it opens on the 1st of the month and closes on the 15th of the month. November we are using the Happiness Abounds stamp set, along with the use of Happiness DSP. So this is our card for this week. So next week we will have project number 2 to share with you. Okay, thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you then. Thanks a lot. See ya. Hooray.